Muted. Child, I've been muted that whole time. And I'm just talking, man. So I'm gonna start all that back over, man. Y'all know what it is. It's your favorite big brother, Mr. Church, man. I'm here with another dope episode of Rhyme and Word. And I'm excited, man. I got my brother with me, man, Chawa. Bro's a straight lyricist, so I know it's about to get bananas up in here today. And then on another note, I'm just excited because I'm from Montgomery, Alabama. Y'all saw how we put it down over the weekend. We ain't playing no game. If you ain't seen it, just go to social media and tap in and see how Alabama putting it down. We making up for some of them civil rights injustices, and we letting it be known that we ain't playing no games in the city no more. I went and purchased my chair. I went and got my white chair, and I got my license to go with it. So now, listen, I'm just loving it, man. I ain't no advocate of violence, but I am an advocate of getting some act right. And Alabama administered some act right this weekend, and so I love it. I ain't gonna even lie. I ain't gonna even front with you. I love it. I respect it. But listen, today I got a dope show with my brother, man, Chawa, bro, straight lyricist out of Ohio. So I'm excited. I see him. I don't see him in the background right here. But let me bring him on in and see what's going on. He ain't there. So he might have stepped away somewhere. So watch this. The show must go on. Show got to go on. So what we're going to do is, while we waiting on him, there's got to be something, because he was just in the stream with me. We're going to go ahead on and play his video. What we do is we ask some preliminary questions. Okay, there you go. There you go. He back. He back like he never left. There you go. Listen, man, y'all make some noise for my dog, Chawa, man.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
How you doing, man?
What's
How
up,
you
bro?
doing? Montgomery,
Good, man.
Montgomery in the building, man.
Come on, Montgomery. Stand up, Montgomery.
I got to go get me a chair, bro.
Man, you can't even buy them at Walmart now. Me and my kids was looking early, bro. They say all the white chairs sold out in Walmart.
Thank God.
I said, it's a staple moment, man. Stand up, Alabama, man. That's my hometown. That's where I'm from, man. So y'all see how we put it down. And for all y'all football fans, that's just a prelude of what's coming. That tide coming, man. We ain't playing. Chawa, what's up, baby? You ready to do this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Let's do it. I'm excited, man.
I am too, man. So let's pray real quick. Make sure the enemy don't get no crack, no wedge, no nothing up in here. And then we're going to dive right into this thing. Cool. Dear Heavenly Father, we bless you today, God. God, we thank you for this opportunity to share in the art and in the gifts that you have given us. God, I ask that you empower Chawa to tell us and take us deeper into the song that you have given him. And God, I ask that he pulls out the message in such a way that we have a greater understanding. But not only that, God, that someone may be encouraged, uplifted, or even empowered, God. But more than anything, God, we pray that you be glorified, that you have your way. So, Holy Spirit, we submit our wills to your will, and we say, have your way on this show. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Let's get it, bro. So the name to me is already interesting enough. I saw you on Movement Underground 9.0, and I was like, Chawa, Okay, so I was already like, I got to get bro set up on the podcast. And
Yeah.
so I was going to ask you, and I'm asking you now in this moment, where does the name C.h.u.r.c.h come from? And what's the symbolism? What's the meaning behind it, if any?
Man, so that's actually funny, man. A lot of people ask that. I got asked that this past, well, 2 weeks ago, man. Everybody was like, man, it got to be something deep. I know it's something
Right?
deep, right? It's not, man. I'm gonna keep it
He
a buck
said
with
it's
you.
not.
It's not.
I was
So
going to
what it
tell the
is,
truth.
man, it is like a childhood nickname for me, man. When I was growing up in Ohio, man, my family, my real name is Charles Williams, and
Right?
some type of way they got Chihuahua out of that, and it just stuck with me, man. And when I started to do music, man, I just decided that
Roll
I
with
was
that.
gonna be me. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
dig that.
Chihuahua was what it was, man. So yeah, it's nothing special about it, but in a
That's
way,
special right there, though.
that's
That's special because I'm gonna take down south. It's a tradition. Nobody gets to keep their real name. Nobody keeps their government from the. If they bring you to our house or anything like that, we automatically nickname you something. And so the fact that they
yeah,
nickname you and it's stuck, that's significant enough in itself, man. So
yeah.
dope. All right, so here we go. Next question. How long have you been doing music? And has it always been Christian hip hop?
Okay. No, so I've been doing music, man. I started young, man. Young. I fell in love with music at a young age, man. A funny story, man. My first song where I ever rapped was Usher, and he ain't a rapper though,
Okay. Okay.
but it was I think it was My Way, the song My Way, and he
Right.
got that little part in there. So I started rapping that, and then I started being like, all right, I like this, man. I like this music thing. I started falling in love with it. Um, but I got like I'll say it's an interesting story for real, man. I started off writing my first raps. They were gospel raps.
Right. That's crazy. I got
So
a similar story.
yeah, I started off doing that, and then as I grew, some things started to happen, stuff like that. I fell out of the gospel side of things and dropped into the secular, where for me it was more so just about being. I got be real, man. I got more accepted, man. You know, with the secular music, man. For real, like I was out
It's
there,
crazy to be like that.
yeah, man, making some dope music, meeting some dope people, and just having fun with it. And and in the middle of we had one record, man, one record that I remember that was kind of getting some radio spins, and we was doing
Right.
our thing. We had a good time, man, and then I just lost it. Like I completely lost it. Like I felt like I was losing my gift. The next songs wouldn't come out. The lyrics wouldn't come out. Everybody like, yo, what's going on? People start asking like, bro, you waiting like a year to even write a song. What's going on? And between that time, to make a long story short, between that time, man, that is when I had a lot going on in my life that led
Right.
me uh, back to Christ, which you'll hear
Come
it in the
on.
song
Come
kind of,
on.
but that is like what led me back to Christ. And then in that moment, I tried to get back on the wheel, as far as get back on the bike, as far as doing music in general, and it still wouldn't come out. So I got a little worried, man. People around me, they know this story, man. I'm like, I might be done, this and that, and yeah, man. So I ended up taking a total of like 3 years from music completely.
Wow.
I didn't touch it. In that span, I got married. I had my first daughter, and it was a little bit after my first daughter that I decided to pick a pen back up, and it just started flowing. It was like that three
Look at
years.
God. Look at
It
God.
yeah, yeah. It felt like to me, was like God gave me that time not only to heal from certain things, but to also live through certain things, and so that I was able to um, not only be able to share my story of how I got here, but to also be able to share new things of my journey also that people, people been through. I know a lot of people been through, man, and it's just I'm blessed to do that. And then to be honest with you, 2000 and I want to say 18. I think it was
Right.
18. Um, is when I really started dropping music like consistently, and it was like I felt the level of anointing was there to continue to right, because I'm all about that. I know you are too, artists like that. I'm all about, man. If God don't say do it, can't
God
pull
ain't
it
in it.
off.
I ain't in it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
ain't
that's
in it.
how it
I
is,
ain't in
man.
it.
So before a project, before records, everything like
Yeah.
that. Before I hop on the track, man, I'm like, I'm praying, Lord, is this
Yep.
what you need from me? And if I don't, if that ain't it, man, then that ain't it.
And
So
I ain't doing it. Yeah.
yeah, so I would say about 2018, man, it's been on go. He's been telling me like go, and I've been on go, man, and it's been a blessing. It's been a ride, man. I would say
That's
that.
dope. So
Yep.
the questions are coming in like crazy, and I love it. So we're gonna jump into a couple of questions. Shout out to my pops, Dr. Tony Whitley. He says, "What's your favorite song out of your catalog? What's your favorite song, if you got a
If I had to pick, oh, that's a good question.
favorite?"
Oh man, if I had to pick, it's a song. Look Me in My Eyes.
Mm,
It's on Vessel. Yeah. If I had to pick that, it's Look Me in My Eyes. It kind of it's weird because it's not one of my like deep like lyrical type of records. It's more of a bouncy record, but
right.
it's deep on my end because when I was looking at
I'm
it,
gonna have
it's
to
like,
bring you
man,
back and break that one down. There, we got to
yeah,
bring you on
yeah.
to break that one down.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah. That one is pretty deep to me, man. But if I had to go with just like a regular record, like just a vibe, man, Lost Thoughts is
Lost
that's one
off
of
the
my
internet. Well,
yeah.
that's good
I
because
was
we're
about
going
to
to break that one down.
yeah
All right, I got
yeah.
one more question, and then we're gonna move it to my last question before the video. So my shout out to my brother Birdie. Birdie says, "Who is an artist? What artist influenced you the most?"
That'd be Nas, man.
Wow, now I can
Yeah,
see, I can see that. I
yeah,
can see that.
that's my favorite rapper, man. Like I actually say that in one of my songs, man. I say that like I copied his style. Like that's what
Right,
I literally like copied his style, and then I started to learn what I could do with my range and stuff like that. But
right.
I literally, man, that was who I looked up to.
That's a good blueprint to follow, man. Nas is a
Yeah,
solid dude, and he's that's longevity, man. Nas has been at it for a minute. He's still at it. That's what I love. Because I would say some years back, rap had an age cap on it. And
facts.
you definitely couldn't be 40 and rapping. Like I think
Yeah.
Game said that. He said you 40 and you still rapping.
Yeah.
So, but I think that I'm grateful that these guys, because no other music genre has that. You can do rock and roll until you die. You can do blues until you die. Gospel, everything else until you die except for rap. It's like you can't, and I think that's content based as well. But I'm grateful for people like Nas and Jay-Z and KRS-One and Ice Cube and so many other greats that are knocking the barriers down because you shouldn't have limits on art, man. As long as it's
Mm,
relevant and the people are vibing, hey man, let your art be expressed. So shout out to you and your love and respect for Nas, man. I dig that.
yes, sir.
So my third question before we jump into this video, because I'm excited for them to see this video. Your song Lost Thoughts. Where was your frame of mind at when you wrote this song? What was going on in your life? What would cause or what would stir up a song like Lost Thoughts in your spirit?
So, man, Lost Thoughts is it was a combination of things that I was going through currently, past, and when you hear the record and we break it down, man, you'll hear that it's times in the songs where I'm questioning myself. It's times
Wow.
in the song where I'm encouraging myself.
Right.
It's times in the song where I'm just overall just trying to figure something out. You know what I mean? And that's just where I was at. It was a moment in my life where I was like, man, I'm thinking about too much. I'm
Right.
thinking about too much. I don't know if I can capture these moments. So it dropped on my heart to just like when I had a question. Some of those questions in the record, I literally like would just write down on a sticky note and just save it for later. Because at that moment, it just popped in my head. I'm driving home, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right, well, what if this happened? You know what I'm saying? What if that happened? It's a lot of things that just, I really was questioning and going through. And I just kind of sticky noted them. And when I put them all together, I was like, man, I can make this a record. And
That's
I was going to
crazy.
call it Lost Thoughts because these were thoughts that just came in my mind. And I just thought about it and put it out my mind for the time being because I didn't want to deal with it. And I wrote it down for later. And it ended up creating a pretty dope record, man. And
Right.
it's a lot of people ask that because it's kind of all over the place, but it blends very well because
Right. It does.
got,
Listen, I was listening to the song earlier, and of course, I made a slideshow of your lyrics, so I'm like, man, this gonna be dope. I'm excited to hear you break this thing down. So I got one more question.
Yep.
I just lost the question. No, there you go. Thank you, Holy Spirit. What's your process for writing music? Because I heard you say, the sticky notes and all that good stuff. Is that the normal way for you, or is there another more structured type of way that you go about constructing a piece of art whenever you do that?
Yeah, so the normal way for me, man, is I like to be alone most of the time, and I just I do the structural, usually just to write the 16s or whatever. But sticky notes is it happens when I have an idea. Like you might do it sometimes too. Like when you riding in the car, you might not even have a beat, nothing, but something pops in your mind, and you like, I don't want to forget that. So I do that a lot. I sticky note a lot, man. And I'll go back if I'm fumbling through and I'm like, man, I feel a beat or I feel something. I'm like, man, I don't really know what's the blueprint or what's the lane I'm looking to go with this one. I'll go through my stickies and I'll be like, oh, yeah, you know what? That's pretty dope. Like let's go with that.
That's a good foundation.
Yeah, they just start going, man. So sticky notes definitely help for me, man. I will say that.
For me, it's like audio recording. I audio record everything, bro. Even my songs, like before I record them, I audio record them because I never want to lose the cadence. Like I've lost the cadence quite a few times, and I hate when I lose the cadence, especially the original cadence that I had, because put on a beat and just start freestyling, and then that kind of sets the mood for me to go into writing. And if I do that and I don't record that cadence, and when I come back to the song, I can't remember it, I'm like, oh,
dope.
I'm frustrated. So I audio record everything.
Man, I think, dude, that's like a little bit of Jay-Z, a little bit of Lil Wayne right there, man. I think that's how they kind of do their thing, man.
That's what I heard. Now that's what the boys do. I think audio, because for real, you get to hear yourself. You know what I mean? So I love audio recording. But so listen, I ain't gonna delay anymore, man, because the video is pretty dope. So listen, everybody that's watching, please tag, share, because this is gonna be a dope podcast, man. Tag, share, and get your questions and comments together. Y'all already hot in doing that. So go ahead on tag and share with a friend so they can check my partner C.h.u.r.c.h. All right, let's jump into this video, bro.
Yep.
Sometimes I lock myself up in the studio. Think about if I wasn't here, how things would go. If I wasn't married to the game like wedding rings, and the words that I spoke didn't really mean a thing, would I still give my all or would I walk away? Would I be less concerned with seeing a brighter day? What if I gained the world and they took it all away? Would I be okay? Cause that's something I couldn't take. Ain't never complain about what's on your plate. If your goal is to eat, that's your first mistake. Keep your mind on your craft, you'll always be great. And in order to talk, man, most of it is hate. Let them hate. Take it all, never leave it for debate. Take it slow, watch the others take the bait. But still though, you can learn from your mistakes. Keep your dreams held high, cause they can easily deflate. I'm sad. Sometimes I get lost in my thoughts. It's like I'm stuck up in my daydream. Sometimes I feel it's all my fault. If things ain't what they seem, see I gotta keep pushing forward. Ain't no time for me to look back. They say greatness around the corner. Yeah, I'm trying to find where it's at. Hey man, I really need to wake up. Everywhere you look, somebody trying to get their cake up. Success over happiness, they got their mind made up. Chasing after fairy tale life, there's always made up. So you can lose your happiness, you chasing success. And you can be happier more, just chasing it less. It ain't the easiest thing to do, I must confess. So every day I lift my eyes, man, I know I'm blessed. But still I feel I gotta get it. Cause where I'm from, it's survival of the fittest. Either you with it or you get it. Gotta stay committed, only the realest gon' feel it, But still I struggle with it every day. Preparing my thoughts for what I need to say. Spitting my rhymes and get out the way. But before I speak a word, man, I gotta pray. Sometimes I get lost in my thoughts. It's like I'm stuck up in my daydream. Sometimes I feel it's all my fault. If things ain't what they seem, see, I gotta keep pushing forward. Ain't no time for me to look back. They say greatness around the corner. Yeah, I'm trying to find where it's at. Another youngin' got killed the other day. We never break our silence, we just look the other way. Amazing, man, how we can feel like this can be okay. Said we praying for each other, hoping that it change someday. Ain't worried about no job, they say that that's slow money. Say you 9 to 5, boy, they laugh like what's so funny. But ain't too many spit the facts in the booth. The real problem with the youth is just they lacking the truth, for real.
Jeez. Boy, that track cold-blooded, bro.
Appreciate that, man.
That track cold-blooded, man. I love the way you and I said this when I heard you on the Movement Underground 9.0. I love when an artist, it seems like the artist controls the song. You know what I mean? Like I hear people, and it's no slight, you know, because I've been like trying to work on myself as well. I rap fast a lot. Okay. But I've been trying to tell myself to slow down because I love when it's slowed down because you can hear it a little bit clearer. So I love how your smooth flow on that song because I was able to hear everything. And it just makes I'm the type of person, like when I'm listening to a person, I see pictures. So you painted the picture real clear in the way that you flow with that, man. So salute. I love it.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
So now, bro, let's jump into these lyrics.
Let's do it. Let's do
it. Like I said, now, you know, we talked about it earlier. You read, wherever you want to stop, you stop. And we're going to follow. We're going to listen to you tell the story like Slick Rick.
Let's do it.
So there go the
All right, man. So we're going into the hook. Say, sometimes I get lost in my thoughts. It's like I'm stuck up in my daydream. Sometimes I feel it's all my fault if things ain't what they seem. So, man, I'll start right there and say like this. So the first part, you know, sometimes I get lost in my thoughts. I mean, with the sticky notes, you know, with just driving in the car, you know, getting the thoughts, or you know, thinking about whatever you've been through for the day or whatever, man, just get lost in those thoughts. And it's like you stuck up in this daydream at times. Sometimes me, man, I will fixate on certain things, and it's almost as if I'm daydreaming. Like I like if God gives me a vision of something, I like to visualize it as best as I can before. Not I ain't gonna say every time, but a lot of times before I move on it, I like to visualize like what that's gonna look like. You know, if this is the path that I need to go, even though I know that it can look completely different because God, you know, He can change the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I try my best to visualize, like, man, like, so what would this look like if I was to do this, or if I was to try to serve in this capacity? Like, what would that do? So that's what I do. Lost in my thoughts, man. It's like I'm stuck in my daydream, and so sometimes I feel like it's all my fault if things ain't what they seem. For me, that's what I just said. If I visualize it and I try to move a certain way, right, and then I miss the mark, right?
Come on, bro, you preaching.
You know, I missed the mark, you know, because I didn't, being honest, you know, I didn't, at times how can I put this? At times we sway away from what God is looking for us to do because we
have our own plans. Yep.
And that's what I mean by I feel like, it's my fault. If I miss this mark, it's my fault because I chose to do this because I thought this would be a better way to do it. You know, because, you know, sometimes God he'll put you in a situation where you like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it through this one. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. You know, like, and we'll try to take that easy way. We take that cheat code. You know, we'll be like, man, you know what? I don't have to go there. They be all right. Let me go over here because, you know, it's gonna be more people, whatever. You know, certain things to go, and you go there and you didn't move not any person. It wasn't what you seen, and you know, that's just me speaking off of personal experience, man. If you don't mind,
No, I dig it, bro. Because honestly, I can relate with everything that you just said. Even I think God has me in a season of like being patient. Because like you said, man, God has shown me, right? Like he gave me a glimpse of where this thing is gonna head. So you get so anxious, man, and you think like because he showed it to me, like it's tomorrow, And man, like you end up spending. I've been in this thing now for 3 years professionally, and God told me what the outcome was going to be like. And I can see myself edging towards it, but sometimes I get frustrated because so many people depend on me, and I want to make it. I want to make things right, like you said, so that people can. I feel like people can get in a place, in a better place in life. And sometimes, man, I get impatient and I get frustrated because I'm like, this thing ain't happening. But whenever I go back, whenever I just sit and look, or I get out that moment, I can see where God has progressed me, and it's really getting closer and closer. And I think it's value. You attain value for what God has shown you when you go this route. Because if you get it overnight or if it's microwave, it's like it came too fast, man. But the grind does something for you, man. So when you finally get that thing in your hands, you got a different type of respect for it. So I can relate 100%, bro, with what you're saying.
There it is. There it is, right there.
For real. So all right, let's jump back into it.
All right, so it's all my fault thinking with this thing. So I got to keep pushing forward. Ain't no time for me to look back. They say greatness around the corner. Yeah, I'm trying to find where it's at. So yeah, man, it's like I got to keep pushing forward. Ain't no time for me to look back. And what for me, man, that is like a double entendre because it's like, man, you at times you need to look back because you need to look like you said, like you just said.
That's good.
So you got to compress that. But what for me, I'm always pushing forward because I know that my stride is in tune with what God needs for me. So I know that sometimes if I make a mistake and I pray about it, and I'm like, Lord, I know I made this mistake. You know what I'm saying? I know it. All right, you showed me I messed up. I'm moving too fast. I need to align with you. So for me, if I continue to dwell on that, like those type of things, that's what I'm talking about. If I continue to dwell on, man, I made this certain mistake last time. I don't want to do that again. Then it's tough for me to move forward because I'm always hesitant on my next move because I'm like, man, I don't want to do that again because it didn't turn out the way that I thought it should. And that's what I mean. That's basically what that line is saying, man. It's just I just got to keep pushing forward, Lord. But as long as you're in front of me, that's how I look at it. Yeah, I got to keep pushing forward. Ain't no time for me to look back. We got to grind.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this based off that line that you just said about greatness, because a lot of people, that's the end goal. You know what I mean? We want to be whatever God has gifted us to do, and whatever we're doing, we want to be great. So, what does greatness look like to Chawa?
So, greatness to me is the end goal. I got an audience of one.
Come on.
Greatness to me is job well done, my good and faithful servant.
That's good.
So greatness looks different to everybody, right? To me, it's not about fame, it's not about money, it's not about any of those things. It's about, did I fulfill my calling? Did I serve to the best of my ability? And that right there is like, that's greatness. That's why I say greatness around the corner. I'm trying to find where it's at. Like I may be going through this today. I may be going through what it seemed like I'm not gonna make it out because at times this is not easy.
Man, you better say it. Man, you better say it.
It's not easy, man. It's tough, and sometimes it's hard to go out and to encourage someone, especially during a live show. If you just went through something a couple hours ago, and so that's why at times like they say greatness around the corner. I'm trying to find where it's at. I'm trying my best to reach that moment that, Lord, did I fulfill what it is that you called me to do? And that's what that is.
I'm glad I asked you that question because so many artists get lost in the sauce and we get it confused or we misplace what greatness is. And like you just hit it on the mark. We attach greatness with the material gain or the material wealth, and we look at somebody else and we'll say, man, they're great, but I'm not great. And you could be right on track or right on course with what God wants you to do, and you could be doing that at a great capacity. So that's greatness. It ain't about the wealth or whatever you attain. That's a byproduct, I would say, in my opinion. But if I'm doing what God called me to do, the way God called me to do it at 100% every day, man, that's greatness. I don't care if it's
greatness.
driving the trash truck. For
There
real,
it is.
I'm the greatest at driving because I do it with the right mentality, and I give it my all every day, and I'm impacting people doing this like God designed me or wanted me to do at this particular moment. So that's greatness. I just figured somebody needed to hear that, and I knew you was gonna knock it out of the park, man. Because so many dudes, especially dudes, we hard on ourselves, and we could be functioning at a fast food restaurant and be doing that great, man, and impacting tons of people, but it ain't greatness in our minds because we looking to the left or to the right, and we saying, well, they got all the cars and this and that and the third, so they great.
You talking, brother? That's fact, man. No, that's fact, man.
So we gotta respect where we at, the place that God has us in. So that's dope, bro. All right, we're gonna take a quick sponsor break, man, because I like to support those that support me. It's gonna be real quick, and then we'll get right back into that first verse.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? It's your girl, Marvette the Artist, aka MTA, aka your favorite cousin on your daddy side. Listen, they say don't say you're back, say you're better. So I'm gonna tell you this, I'm better. Listen, we have changed the name of the podcast, so it's no longer Sip and Chat. Now we're Round Table with MTA. But guess what? The discussions are gonna be better. They're gonna be deeper. We're gonna really get into it. You hear me? New faces. New topics every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't want to miss it. You hear me? That's it.
That's it. So listen, that's going to come on right after this. So tonight, the relaunch of Roundtable with MTA, man. Y'all stay locked in because it's going to be dope, man. She got my sister on there, Portia. So listen, y'all stay locked in. All right, so Chawa, we back with verse number 1. Let's get into it.
Sometimes I lock myself in the studio, think about if I wasn't here, how things would go. Man, I gotta stop it right there, because that right there is deep to me, man.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
It's deep because I can honestly, man, I can tear up because every time that I hear that, I take that journey of, man, where I could be if I wasn't in Christ, if I wasn't accepting of my calling and I wasn't in this space, like where could I be, man? And it's just deep. I mean, it's not very much to say about it, but it's just deep, man. If you have, I ask you that, church, like if you were to think about that line, man, if you wasn't here, like where would you be? Like that's just how deep it is for me, man. It's just I can, for that alone, that sends me into worship. I mean, because I'm
now
like,
watch
Lord,
this, bro. I can relate so much with that, man, because the my foundation or the reason why I kind of launched into this at the level that I'm doing it now is because of pain and hurt. So that propelled me into music in a deeper way. And I don't know if I didn't give God my yes, or if I didn't acknowledge my gift in that moment when I was going through. I'm like you, man. I don't know where I would be because this literally changed my life. Like you would have saw me in 2019 and probably back like for 15 years, I was a corporate dude. I was a general manager for a pallet firm. And that's what I did. I just went to work every day. I knew I had this gift, and I would use it on youth Sundays and just having fun at church. And when things got flipped upside down, and God said, "I want you to do this. I want you to take this music more serious." That's what I did, and it literally changed. God said, He said it's gonna change your life, and it literally, like in a matter of months, bro. I went from December lights upside down. February, I had wrote 3 songs. By February, I'm on tour. So I can relate, man, that if it wasn't for being able to, in my time of pain, get in the studio and get that out, and I wanted people to hear something that would help shift their atmosphere or their mindset. Man, if it wasn't for that, I don't know. I'm like you. I don't know. So that's dope. That's dope. All right, we back in it.
Oh, where I be?
If
all right, so if I wasn't married to the game, like wedding rings, and the words that I spoke didn't mean a thing, man. So that's an add-on to that, man. If I wasn't married, when I mean married to the game, I mean married to my calling, the ministry. If I wasn't married to this, if I didn't give my all in,
right,
to God, and the words that I spoke. Because when we give our all to God and we answer to our callings and what He has for our life, He then places influence,
That's
on our
good.
words. So if the words that I said didn't mean a thing, would I still, what I mean? That's the next part, but that's what it is. If the words that I said didn't mean a thing, man, like, would I still do it if I didn't have that influence anymore? If I didn't have that calling upon my life, man, would I take it as serious? Would I still have took this music as serious as I take it to this day?
That's dope. Let me ask you a question. When you first decided to launch out and do this ministry, did you have your family support and your ministry support? Were they backing you up and saying that okay, we with you 100% while you do this music, or did you get some resistance?
So I had my family and the ministry, but what it was for me was uh, my surroundings, because I had some very close people around me that I consider family. But my
Right.
immediate family was good. And they distanced themselves from me. So I had a
Wow.
period of feeling like alone, for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I
Wow.
was I was feeling like, yo, I got, because you get support in different levels. You know what I'm saying? Your the support that your immediate family, your mom, your dad, and your church family give you is not the same as you got a brother
I agree.
who's gonna
I
stand, like,
agree.
and when I had some of those ties cut, and some of those guys kind of distanced themselves from me, like you ain't, almost as if I wasn't moving right. It's almost like I'm the
Right.
one that was moving wrong, man. And it was like, it was hard. That was hard to deal with. I'll be honest with you, man. That was kind of tough, because it was like, man, I felt out there by myself, no one to really express myself to, who I felt who can understand. You know what I mean? But it was all part of the journey, man, and I'm where I'm at now because of it. So
So let me ask you this, because the question just kind of keep coming in, man. This is awesome dialogue. Shout out to MTA for saying that, but I agree wholeheartedly. Awesome dialogue. So has any of those relationships been rekindled? Because I can relate, bro. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna share this. My family, and when I say family, not my mom and dad, they they embrace what I do, but they really don't know. You know what I mean?
yeah,
My mom passed this year, but even when she was alive, she kind of didn't know how her son was moving. She would hear me say, "Mom, I'm here and I'm dead. Where you gonna be at this weekend?" But I think she came to Jacksonville for my birthday, and shout out to everybody that came and showed love and support. It was like they MTA threw me like a birthday concert, and the city came out. It was crazy, and my mom made that trip, and she had tears in her eyes because she was like, "Boy, I didn't know you was doing it like this." And I said, "Yeah, Mom, I be trying to tell y'all, but yeah, I get it that y'all up in ages, so y'all can't really follow me around the way I be moving. But my extended family, like cousins and things like that, they still haven't embraced what I'm doing. Outside of just knowing what I'm doing, and they'll see it, they'll view it from a distance. But when you
mm-hmm.
talk about calling and encouraging, and that's all, I'm not asking for monetary support, but just acknowledge what God is doing is supporting itself for me. Like that's enough. I'm not really getting it like that. So I asked all that and said all that to say, has any of those relationships that were severed in the beginning, have they been rekindled? Have y'all, as redemption came?
Yeah, a few. It was a couple that is just solid, man. You know what I mean? But like you said, for the majority, man, if I had to say like 80%, it still hasn't, like, it's acknowledged, like, yo, you doing it, but it's still almost like I'm moving wrong. That's just how I feel. Like it's almost
I
like
say,
yeah,
say,
like that's how I get it. Like it's like I'm moving,
hey,
like
man.
when I come around, the energy change. So it's almost like I'm the one
Man, that's
who is
so
like,
unfortunate.
yeah, and it's tough, because it's like I I was one of the ones who was like, man, I had to start to separate myself, because
Yeah,
what I started to feel was when I came around and I felt the energy change, I started to dim my light
yeah,
of
yeah,
what
yeah,
God had me
yeah,
to.
yeah. I
Because
get
I'm
it.
like, I started wanting to fit in. I wanted to fit that box. Like, yo, I know I'm changed, but yo, I'm still,
I'm
I'm
still your
still,
dude. I'm still your
yeah, like,
boy.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it got hard, man. I got hard, and it was just like, man, you know what? It might be time to move on, man. And
Facts.
yeah, I still got love for a lot of people, and um, I'm still hoping one day that it embraces, that we can get back tight. But it's
Right.
to the point now where it's just like, a high and by type of situation, man.
Yeah.
But that's part of the journey too, man. But
Yeah.
it's all there.
And you got to be able to accept that. And this for somebody who's listening that need to hear that, because you may be at a phase where you are trying to hold on to something that God is basically trying to separate you from and take you from, so He can take you to another level. Man, you got to realize, man, it's seasons for a reason. You know what I mean? And in that, people are seasonal too, man. And that's I think for me, that was the hardest pill to swallow too. I'm like, man, so you trying to tell me that such and such ain't gonna be able to go with me? And you know, God didn't have to directly answer that for me, because life answered it for me, because it's not like that anymore. And at this point, I don't even know how we could vibe. You know what I mean? Because it's so different now that I wouldn't even want to infringe on them, you know, my change, because I know sometimes that could be uncomfortable for people. So I get it, man. And somebody need to hear that, man. It's seasons for a reason, and you got to be able to let it go. You know what I mean? And accept that when winter comes out, spring is coming in, and God is bringing something new in. So receive that. Hold on, let me see. I thought Dr. T had a question. I would call you today with some encouragement. You call it. I appreciate that, Pops. All right, so let's jump back into it, Chawa. You tell this thing too, man. I appreciate the way you moving with this.
All right, cool. And the words that's thing. All right. Would I still give my all, or would I walk away? Would I be less concerned with seeing a brighter day? What if I gained the world and they took it all away? So, man, for me, that's we're talking about the questioning part of this album, man, and it's like, or this track, I should say. And for me, this was preparing myself for for my calling to serve. Knowing that I had to have the right mindset and the right heart, I should say, to move forward into this thing and give my all. So the words didn't have influence anymore. Would I still serve in the capacity that God needed me to? What I mean by that is, man, if my calling today, tomorrow, God placed everything in my lap, and everything was good, and a week later, He like, all right, that's it, you're done with the music thing. It's time to move on. I need you to go out and minister in the form of this. Like, I put all this work in over here. That's how we think. The human moment, I call it. Like, man, you sure? Like, no, we put all this work in. Like, but you have to be able to differentiate that, and that's where I was trying to prepare myself to say, all right, I might put in all of this work for this one album, and God might say, that was it. That is what you need. That is what I needed from you. I need you to move on to X, Y, and Z. So I had to like kind of mentally prepare myself for that, man, to know that I needed to give my all, but I also needed to open my heart and open my mind to what God needed from me, so that I wouldn't get too attached. I know it's hard to do that sometimes, man, but that's my personal opinion, man. I feel like you can't. It's your art, right? So you're so attached to it, man. But I feel like at the end of the day, this is God's. This is what He is calling me to do. So if He wanted me to let it go, if He wanted me to push it forward, however He wants me to move, that's how I'm moving. So that's what that was.
Man, that's a good point, Chawa. That's a good point that a lot of people need to hear, because we have our own expectations on what it's supposed to do, and God's probably saying, if I touch one person, man, that's it. So that's good. That's a good point. All right, let's jump back into what we at the top of this second part of that first verse.
They took it away. Would I be okay, or is that something I couldn't take? Yeah. That first line right there, man. It's a piggyback of that last line. If you gain the world and they took it all away, would you be okay? Or something you couldn't take? That's just kind of my question to myself again, like making sure, hey, all right, God can give you everything tomorrow, right?
Come on, Joe.
You could go from I'm saying, like,
come on, Joe.
and what I mean by then they take it all away is it's not really mine, right? So if they take it away from me, that's just the same thing, man. Me preparing myself, like, Lord, if this is not the way that I see it, like for me, I can see myself doing it for the next 10 years, but that don't necessarily mean that that's what God wants me to do on my journey. So that is what I'm speaking on there, man. That's pretty much simple Simple as
That's
that.
dope too. I'm glad you said that because you said the next 10 years. Is that literal? You can see yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I
And
can
so
see
then,
myself.
what's the end game for the music, or is there an end game? Like, do you got some? Do you see yourself record label or like an A&R somewhere? Or,
So, man, for me, it's like I see myself. I want to say ushering in like a new wave of
Okay.
artists like ourselves. Just kind of sticking around long enough to make sure that they know that we because I see you, man. We you got it popping, man. It's okay to say, like you're doing things, you moving around, and
Yeah.
you moving, you building kingdom, and
Yeah.
we need more people like to drop off because once we reach that plateau, man, it's like, yo, all right, who's gonna come up next, and who's gonna be conditioning training, who are they gonna look up to? So that is what my purpose is to kind of find and or let ask God to lead me to those who may be looking for some guidance through some situations that we already been through. And my end game is possibly being mentorship. That's what I feel like it
That's
is, man.
dope
It's
though.
more of a
That's dope.
mentorship. Yep.
That's dope. Each one reach one. I dig that. I
Yep.
did that. All right, here we go.
All right, then. Never complain about what's on your plate. If your
Oh, here come
goal
one
is
of
to
my
eat,
favorite lines right here, bro. This is
that's
my
your
favorite
first
line. You
mistake.
slap.
Yeah. So that one right there, man. I reached the first one. Never complain about what's on your plate, man. That's pretty simple, but I look at it, I tell you like this, man. I look at it a little bit deeper. Never complain about what's on your plate, because I know we all had our grandmothers and our mothers and everybody telling the old saying that God wouldn't put more on you than you can bear. And
Right.
that's simply what I was saying, man. Like, it's okay to complain. That's how I feel. It's okay to complain. It's in a sense of, just the other day, you travel out of state, when you drive, you fly, you might say, hey, I'm tired. Man, I just ain't feeling it today, or whatever the case may be. But you got to remember when you are in those moments that you have to know that God wouldn't put more on you than you can bear. So you need to understand that you need Him to, hey, I'm a little tired, Lord. Could you
Give me some strength.
give me some strength to make it
Yeah,
through
that's
this
good.
situation? You know what I'm saying? Could you, Lord, I'm a little bit lost right here. I don't want to stop, but could you guide me to where I
That's
need to
good.
go? So, but the overall is, I'm saying, I know that even though I'm lost, even though I'm tired, even though I'm a little bit weak right now, you wouldn't put me in this situation if you didn't know I was wise enough, strong enough,
Come on,
had
preacher.
enough energy to make it through. So for me, I don't want to complain about the situation. I just need you to help me through the situation. That is
Man,
where
that's so
where I would go
good.
with that. Yeah.
That's so good. If everybody can have that perspective, bro, life
Yep.
will be so different because we say God order our steps. And I think we look at the Bible, but we don't look at it in its wholeness or in its fullness, that it was the Holy Spirit that led Jesus to the wilderness.
Mm.
For real,
Yes,
it was
sir.
God who
Yes,
said,
sir.
have you considered Job? Have you considered my faithful servant? It wasn't the end, and it was like, I've been watching him, but I see the hedge of protection you got around him. It's God to
Mm.
say, well, you know what? I'll let you do this, that, and the third, because I know what he's gonna, because I know what I put in him and I know what he's gonna do. Like you said, I know. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times we complaining in a situation where God is saying, I'm gonna get some glory out of you. Just say yeah. Just say yeah and
There.
keep going. I'm gonna get some glory out of you. And
Yes,
it's gonna
sir.
feel good on the other end of knowing that you went through. Because I brought you through. So that's good, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody better grab that. Somebody better
Yes,
get that and
sir.
put that
Yes.
in your pocket because you need to stop complaining and just keep going. Because God got you. The strength is there. And one of my mentors told me this a long time ago. Everything you need is already there. Just keep going. The ram was in the bush. Just
Mm.
just keep
There it
going,
is,
man.
man.
Everything is there.
Yes, sir. That's
So that's
correct,
good.
man.
Good point, Chawa. Good point. Good point. Let's get back
And
into it.
then we had that. If your goal is to eat, that's your first mistake. Uh, man, that one
Mm.
is pretty deep. In the sense of a lot of a lot of artists. This is speaking from a artist standpoint. I think we have the wrong impression of this thing, man. A lot of us come into it thinking that we're owed something. You know what I
Ah,
mean? It's like I'm coming into this to build up a name, to build up a brand, to make sure that, you know, my family is taken care of, to make sure all this stuff. And then at the very end, it's like, oh, and by the way, you know, I'm serving, or, you know, this and that. Like, it's like a throw in, you know, and that,
Right.
if that's your goal, like if your first goal is to eat, to make sure that the money right, to make sure that the value right, and all that stuff, then you already made a mistake. You already missed
You
the
missed it.
whole thing. And for me, that was deep, man. For me, that was deep. I just wanted to make sure that I came in with the right heart and the right mindset to serve first. Love God. You know, that's what it was. And then, like you said earlier, anything that comes with that. Because if I personally feel like if God can't trust me to full heartedly serve in the capacity that I need to do when I have nothing, then when He gives me things, it's easier for me to really care less about that aspect of it, and you just missing me just out here rapping. Because I would say this thing, man, this is no shade or nothing like that, but I know great artists who make great Christian hip hop may not even believe not one or two words that
Come
they
on,
saying on
man.
that song, man.
Boy, you ain't on it. Watch this. You really took my. I was. Holy Spirit was giving me that question, bro. So, with you being in this thing like you are, what's your perspective of the heart of C.H.H.? Is it is it in line, or we need an adjustment? Where we at with it?
We might need a little bit of adjustment, man.
We need to tweak it.
We need to tweak it a little bit, man. It is, man. Like, so my thing is if we ask, and we keep it real, man. You might have had this too, man. Like, if you ask people that very first question you asked me, like, what is your goal with this thing? The first is if you pay
The
attention,
bag.
man.
You boy want the bag.
There it is, man. It is like, man, the first thing, man, in 2 or 3 years, I don't want to work no more. I'm trying to be
Yep.
here. I'm trying to be there. Um, and I don't want to sound like I'm against the branding and the promotion, because I do think that they can coexist, but you
Right.
just have to understand the order. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
have to
That's
understand
good.
how it goes, man, and because your branding and your promotion and all of that is to boost um, the word. That's all it is, man. And to reach more, to create a longer reach, I should say, for your calling and your purpose to serve. So yeah, I feel like, I don't know about you, but me personally, I feel like it can do a little bit of adjusting, man, because a lot of people, I feel like we are out there a little bit as far as trying to make sure that we secure in the bag. And I don't want to share any names, but like, I want to ask you how you feel about this. Is that we had an artist who is, the purpose is to show up for the concert to administer the word, right? But the bag wasn't there. The
Oh,
whole
they flipped
amount
out.
was
Yeah.
not leaving, not going on stage, not so you travel all the way here not to perform or not to minister, I should say, and that's the opposite of who we are. And for me, that was tough to swallow too, man. So that's the next part of the song that I'm talking about, actually.
I'm gonna touch on something real quick that you said. You touched on expectation, and what I've come to find is a lot of time it ain't, people have contributed to hurting people. Like you said, the person came there, things wasn't in line, but his expectation was probably misplaced from the beginning, so that contributed to the frustration, the anguish, the whatever. Because the expectation is I'm gonna glorify God. Now, if you get that wrong, I'm gonna let you know you got your whatever part of your business you handle wrong. We'll get that squared away. But if God told me to go there, I'm going there to do whatever I needed to do, because God could be testing me in that area.
Mm,
Where are your priorities at? And a lot of times, people's expectations are misplaced, and that's what causes them to get hurt. I expect people, because people are people. So I got it backwards, and that could, you know, depending on who I'm dealing with, they might say, well, you got it wrong. I expect people to be people. So I
mm,
expect stuff to happen. And then when it pans out, I'm like, glory to God. But I don't get too up in a tight when it don't pan out. Because people are people, man. People are fickle, and people do stuff weird and all kind of stuff. And I leave them that space and that grace to be able to do that. And then, we can have some dialogue about it and get you right. But a lot of people come in, like you said, this expectation, I'm finna get rich, I'm finna do this, I'm finna retire. It's misplaced expectation. And when it don't pan out like that, then you saying somebody hurt me. Or this, that hurt me. I got church hurt. I got this, that. No. Well, you had made a man of God. Let's just be honest. You had already made the man of God. That was the first mistake because he shouldn't have been in that place. I'm all for respecting and honoring and all that, but not making men gods, because that's where you open the door for hurt and pain and different stuff like that. My thoughts.
Man, and just to throw in on that, man, that's a personal experience from what I said about I started with the gospel, went to secular. That's me speaking on me. So I'm not throwing no shade on anybody also, because my expectation when I first came in was that.
Right.
Was when I started, like, man, this is a easy way to make some money, right? This is an easy way to get in. And then when I realized that wasn't it, I left and went to secular because that's where I thought, now I'm chasing, constantly just chasing that. So that was something that I learned the hard way too, man. And when I see it, man, it's tough to correct, but I just continue to pray about it, man, and just ask God to give me the tools and give me the words to speak when I'm in those situations to try to help someone else, maneuver that situation also.
That's dope. But you got that experience in your bag. And just like how you just broke that down, you just helped a lot of people not even knowing that got it wrong. The Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom. God gonna give you, he wants to give you the desires of your heart. And he wants to exceed them. He wants to, but he wants priority. Keep the main thing, everything else gonna fall in place. You know what I mean? But when you take the main thing, you make the main thing the back thing, and you make the back thing the priority, boy, you in trouble. You got the horse before the cart, or the cart before the horse, whatever they said. So yeah, that's good. I'm glad somebody hearing this. Y'all better grab it. All right, let's get back into it. We're doing good too. We still got about another hour, so we good. There we go.
All right. Keep your mind on your craft. You'll always be great. And ignore the talk, man, because most of it is hate. Yeah, so that right there is
that's good.
It's self-explanatory, man. Like you keep your mind on. What I mean by that, for me personally, was keep my mind on my why. That's all it is. Keep my mind on the why, man. And that, to me, alone alleviates a lot of those things we just talked about. A lot of the, stepping out of the boundaries, or knowing when and where, if I show up to this concert, Lord, this is where I feel it. I'm in line. I know this is where I need to be. Okay, the business side may not be all the way together, like you said, but I know I need to be here. So let me handle what you need me to be here for, and then, X, Y, Z. Or vice versa. Man, I showed up, man. This ain't where I need to be. The atmosphere is not where, what I mean? Like, just gotta be in the line, man. And no, because sometimes someone may offer you, vice versa. Somebody may offer you the bag. Hey, show up here.
Yeah, come on, man. Talk about it.
But it's not where you need to be. That side is probably harder for most of us to step away from than the other side.
Saying no to the bag and no, it's off. No, the bag ain't right.
Yeah, so focusing on my ministry and my calling is going to make me great, like we talked about earlier, in the eyes of God, which is my greatness. And then in order to talk, man, most of it is hate, and it's true. I mean, you just, if you listen to what everybody's saying, you allow them in your space and to occupy the space in your mind, man, and you just, it weighs you down, man. It will weigh you down, man, from people saying that. For me, early on, oh dog, you was doper when you was secular, man. You become Christian, man. You know what I'm saying? Now you sound like corny, or you sound, like, that's stuff that I dealt with early on, man, where it was like, nah, bro. It was hard for me to deal with, right? Because I was like, man, I really put my all, and it was harder for me to start writing Christian hip hop than it was for me to secular.
I tell people that, bro. I tell people that.
And so that really played a trick. The enemy kind of used that on me for a while, because I started really thinking like, dang, am I really corny, dog? Do I really sound bad? Because it was harder for me to write it. So I already was like self-conscious. Man, I don't know if this is sounded too good. And then you would hear some people like close to you, like, man, he corny now, man, or he out here, rapping about, this or that, and I'm like, man, so I had to learn how to ignore those thoughts, man, and ignore those people who, if you're not contributing to,
Where I'm going, come on, bro, preach,
there it is, not
preach.
contributing to where I'm going or where God needs me to be, then I ain't got time to listen, man. I got to keep moving. So that's just how it is.
Let me say this. I'm glad you didn't listen, bro. Because when I'm telling you, bro, I mean this from my heart, boy. You cold. I'm telling you, when I saw you on Moving on Underground 9.0, I said, man, bro is cold-blooded. So first of all, I'm glad that you didn't listen to the naysayers because, man, like you said, and I got a saying for that. I always say this. I say, if you're listening to them, this is my second thing. If you're listening to them, you can't listen to him. You can't. Either you're going to listen to them or you're going to listen to him. And
like that.
I know, like, my it's crazy, bro. I'm gonna say this too. It's crazy that we go in this route because I got into C.h.u.r.c.h thinking that it wasn't like it is, right? But it's way more competitive than what's shown. So in the competition, you get a lot of slight. Like that was my thing. I would be hearing through the grapevine that people was like, man, church be here, well, but he ain't even that cold. But what God used to tell me was this: I had my own lane, and so that's what I was settled in. Like I'm the type person, man. I'm giving everybody flowers, like everybody. Lady T be getting on to me about that. She say, "Church, well, you say ain't dope. You say everybody dope." But to me, honestly, if God is giving you the boldness to go forth with your gift, you dope to me. Now you can always fine tune your craft and get better, but man, that's dope that you got the boldness to be able to do it. So. Man, I always be like, man, dude is dope. But it is some people that, I'm like, man, they broke and work on his craft. But when I say dude is dope. But I had to get in a place where I made sure I wasn't listening to them. Because if I, like you said, bro, if I listened to them, I would have stopped, bro. Because I'm like, I do what's called like bounce gospel, hip hop. It's crumb like it's funny because I say I'm like in the lane of a Lil Jon and Yin Yang Twins and I ain't too deep, you know what I mean? And that's on purpose. I understand my lane. Like my lane is to shift the atmosphere. When I come in, people gonna get out their chairs, they're gonna bounce around, they're gonna dance. I respect my lane. That's my lane. C.h.u.r.c.h come in behind me, he gonna make you think. He gonna give you some analogies to think about and different things like that. But so I respect my lane, and I had to remind myself. There's a few times now when people would come to me and be like, man, bro, they don't say, boy, you be everywhere, but they don't know how because you ain't even cold like that. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm in my lane though. That's what I always said. Well, I'm in my lane though, and I ain't worried about your lane or they lane. You know what I mean? For real. So, for real. So salute. I get it. I understand that. I got the comments coming in now. They talking. All right, we back. I think we're at the bottom part of this last verse.
Okay. Most of it is hate. Take it all, never leave it for debate. Take it slow, watch the others take the bait. But still, though, you can learn from your mistakes. Keep your dreams held high because they can easily deflate. Man. So that right there is when I say take it all, I'm talking about, like you just said, you in your lane, what God got for you. Right? I'm not talking about I need what anybody else got for me or where they placing me at. I don't need that. Like you place me where you may or you say what you may. I don't need any of that. But what I do want to make sure is that, like you just said, God wants you to have the desires of your heart. So if it's in line for me to take, you know what I'm saying? Like,
come on.
I need it. It's mine. If it's my blessings, I need. They say grab your blessing, take your blessing. I need it. So take it all. I'm not gonna leave it for debate. I'm sorry, church. I love you, brother, but this one is like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I am, man.
Nah, I can respect it.
Yeah, take it all. Don't leave it for debate, man. But also at the same time, take it slow. And what I mean by watch the others take the bait, because you can get too excited at times, man, where you see something and you like running 100 miles per hour towards the goal, and you're like, man, I know I can reach this goal faster than what probably than what God has on your your path. And when you take that time, man, and you kind of take it slow, and you'll see other people taking bait at times, man, because at the same time, man, the enemy is gonna throw some roadblocks out there,
Come on,
man.
temptation.
You know, like my grandma used to say, man, you know, the devil can bless you too. Now you gotta be careful because you get out there and you sitting there, what you think I should say is a blessing, man. So
Yeah, there
you'll
you
be
go.
out there, and you, if you're not in tune with the Lord, man, and your heart is not set on Him, man, you could easily start to be like, oh
Yeah.
man, well,
Yep.
I'm starting to lean this way because, you know, this X Y Z is happening, man. Oh, God is good, God is great, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, I don't know, man, because if you really was in tune, you would know that this is not your path. This is not what you need. This ends up in destruction or whatever the case may be, man. And so that's where it is for me to always take it slow. I always like to take a step back, even in my like most exciting moments, like when I'm like, oh Lord, man, I'm about to do this. This is something I've been dreaming about, right? And then I still take a step back and I'm like,
And
all
just
right,
look at
Lord,
it.
now,
That's good.
yeah, is this what you want me to do? Is this where you need me to be? Um, and I just really like, you know, take time in prayer, and that's just how I am, man. I like to pray about everything. I like to make sure that I'm
That's
really
solid.
stepping in stride, man. And so I'll take it slow, watch the others take the bait. That's my saying for it, man.
Goal line, and that's so true, man, because it's so easily to be distracted and off course, and you done got something, man, and it feel good, it feel right, but it just ain't. And
And
it got you off course from what God really wants you to be doing. So somebody need to grab that, man. That's a very good point. And at that point, we at the end of the first verse. We're gonna do a video break real quick, and then we'll be right back.
oh, cool.
If you die today, if you die today, it's too late to pray. Whoa. If I die today, did I make His way? I hope so. If you die today, it's too late to pray. Whoa. If I die today, did I make His way? I hope. Yo, get it how you live. That's a strong statement to the kingdom. Do you give? Yeah. Man, please take a ponder and look within yourself, not to get torn asunder. Oh yeah, wait, hey, yo, peep this when I spit at you. If you not living right, please listen, this is critical. Believe, cause He died for you. Serving with the heart of truth. Watch out for that worldly view, your evil can influence you. This is just a warning. I pray you living for God and His Son every morning. That means you living right, and not for yourself at the end of every night. Go. If you die today, it's too late to pray. Whoa. If I die today, did I make His way? I hope so. If you die today, it's too late to pray. Whoa. If I die today, did I make His way? I hope.
Yeah, that's my boy Pete This with If I Die Today. And Facebook kind of was hating last week, man. I be want to play the whole video, but Facebook be muting me and all kind of stuff, man. I went back and looked at my content. They had everything muted, bro. So I said, okay. Dr. T had already told me you got to play like 45 seconds to a minute. So I said, dang, I hate it. But I love sharing even that little bit. So that's my boy Pete This with If I Die Today. A very dope artist, man. All this music out there. All you got to do is look up PEEPDIS. My bro is everywhere. Music is on all digital platforms. Y'all go support that brother, man. Very dope brother. All right, so C.h.u.r.c.h, here we go. We into that second verse now, bro. And we moving and grooving. We still got about a good 45 minutes. So we're going to pick up the pace a little bit, so I don't want them to miss nothing. I want you to be able to tell it.
Cool.
All right, let's get it. Here we go.
So I really need to wake up. Everywhere you look, somebody trying to get their cake up. Success over happiness. They got their mind made up. So yeah, that goes to kind of what we were speaking, man. Is once I got into the C.h.u.r.c.h community, it was a shocker to me. to just say the less, man. Because it was like, to say the least. I mean, it was like you expect it to be so much love, right?
Boy, you better come on, boy. My God.
And I mean, I got in and I was so excited, man. I'm reaching out to people. Yo, what up? You dope, man. I love to work together. Nothing.
It ain't like
Or
that.
yeah. And I'm like, man, so it really started hitting me. And then when I got around certain people, it was like, man, like I literally was told, like, yo, you dope, or you dope too, man. Let's collab. All right, get the money right and we can talk. And I'm like, yo, so that's when I wrote that. Like, I really need to wake up. Like, this ain't, this ain't.
Ain't what you think, bro.
Yeah, it ain't what you think, man.
It is not.
It's like everybody. It was really to wake up success over happiness, man. That's what really stuck with me. Was like, I seen some people who were successful, but they were not in a happy place.
Yeah,
And for
that's
me,
good.
I was like, man, I can't do that. And but they had their mind made up. Like, I'm not going back. This is where I'm at. I'm here, and I can't go back. And for me, I was like, I never want to get to a place where I can't return. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how I feel so deep. I never
that's
wanted
good.
to get to a place where I cannot return. So yeah, I really needed to wake up, man. That's just
That's
how
good,
I really needed to wake up.
So let me ask you this, because I know I'm coming into a place now where I feel comfortable with it. And so I want to help as many artists as I can with this particular thing. How do you feel about monetizing your ministry? And are you monetizing your ministry outside of the music that's distributed when you go to different events? Are you in a place where they respecting you with the honorarium and things like that? And what was that process like for you, if you are there?
Yeah, so that was tough, man, because it
Yeah.
was like it was tough to accept. Well, not accept, but it was tough to learn, I should say, because for me, I had to really seek God and understand that it was okay. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
I have no problem showing up anywhere for free and doing what God is asking me to do. You understand? So it was tough to even the portion of like of how much, or what you like, just learning that type of thing. Like, man, what should you ask for? How much should I ask for anything? I feel bad. It was just a lot of questions going through, but I have gotten to the point too where it's a little bit of both, right? So it is where I do show up and monetize at certain events and things like that, and then certain things I go for free. Just depends on where God needs me, and where it just needs to be. Sometimes, like, man, if they tell me right now, my brother Church said he gonna need you to go to Florida next week, I'm gonna be like, bet, let's go.
I'm
there.
there. I'm the
You know what I'm
same.
saying? That's just how it is, man. And like, it's not about that. It's not about money to monetizing. But a lot of times I have realized here is that God has placed opportunities in front of me to where the monetization part of it is not really up to me. It's not even a question to myself. It's like, yo, hey, we come here, let us know this is that, and it's like, man, that was something. I'm different than a lot, man, because I know some people, just to get on a song or a verse or something like that, like I normally don't monetize off of like the actual writing the music or whatever. But you do the splits and stuff like that. So even that was something that was like, because I would just get on my dog song like, yo, you my bro, I
I'm the
got
same,
you,
bro. I'm the same.
So it's still a learning curve for me. If I'm being honest, man, I'm still learning. I'm still like adjusting. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm still adjusting, man, to not, because I don't want to be that guy who misses out on what God has for you, because especially within the C.H.u.r.c.h community, right? Because it's like you got like KB and Lecrae, and then it's everybody else, right? So if you sit there, and you missing out on opportunities. It's a small community, and you missing out on opportunities to go here or there because you like, nah, I ain't going unless you cut this or that. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. For me, that's tough for me, man. I don't.
And it's a good battle. That's why I brought it up, because even with me, I'm getting into place, and I thank God for the different people that He's bringing in my life. Dr. Tony Whitley, Pastor Moore, who's kind of helping me ration my mind around it and bringing me into a greater understanding of how to go about doing it. Because the Bible says is we have to be good stewards. But that's not just that's over everything, even our gift. Because a lot of artists, and I've seen this firsthand, that the artists would take their means financially of taking care of their home and spend it to go to an event. And then when you get back home, life is still happening. And you're trying to figure out now how you're going to rob Peter to pay Paul to make ends meet because you're so vested in what, this gift or what you're called to. So you have to be a good steward, man. You put in all the work. People should sow into you because somebody said this other day, an artist said, independent artists, stop hesitating to ask these people for an honorarium because they don't have a problem paying Lecrae. They don't have a problem at all. And Lecrae ticket ain't small. So you can get 10 of me with for what you give for one Lecrae. And I'm gonna bring the same energy, you know what I mean? I'm gonna bring the same energy, the same ministry, everything. So I wanted somebody to hear that because we got to get in a place where we're not fearful that we're gonna lose something because we're stewarding over our gift the right way. We have to steward over our gift so that God can take us to the next level. And I think sometimes He puts us in those tight spots to so that we can mature into the place where we're able to say, hey, my honorarium is this much. And if you need me to come, this is my traveling expenses and these things. So I thank God for this season because I'm in there. And I just got one of shout out to Dr. Tony Whitley. I just landed one of my biggest honorariums, man, for real. And then on the back end, I got some mentoring and how to set that up and get better in that, right? So I think that I wanted artists to hear that because we have to get in a place, or that's the reason why a lot of artists quit. They burn out because the resources burn out. And now you got a very gifted artist that has stopped because he said, man, I don't know how I'm gonna keep eating if I keep doing it this way. And a lot of us are that way, man. We'll just get on the thing, we'll go, and then we'll get there and we'll realize $800 later, dang, for 15 minutes.
Nope.
Between the gas and the hotel rooms and all of that, and then you got 15 minutes and it's over with, and now you got to get back home to reality, man. So artists, listen, get into a place where you steward over your gift and you treat it the right way. Treat it like I was told last night. You are a business, man. You're a business. You built this brand. You've invested in this brand. Treat it as such. Be faithful over little, and God will make you rule over much. So I definitely wanted to bring that up and highlight that, man, because we got to get in that place, artists.
That's facts, man.
All right, so here we go. Let's jump back into it.
We're chasing after a fairy tale life. Just know it's made up, because you can lose your happiness if you're chasing success, and you can be happier more just chasing it less. And man, so what I mean by chasing after a fairy tale, man, is just that, man. We like we talk about, man, with the C.h.u.r.c.h community, man. We chasing after I'm not gonna say it can't happen, but we look at like a Jay-Z or like these type of guys, and this is what we.
Oh Lord, don't say that too loud, Dr. Tony. Please don't say Jay-Z. My God. My God.
But yeah, no, you know what I'm saying? We facing after those type of dreams, man, and like not saying that. I mean, we serve a great God, man. He can propel us to that. But I'm just saying, a lot of times that is what a lot of us get into with chasing, man, and you face after that fairy tale life, man, and then you chase after fairy tale life, and you know that it's not real. So if you not there, yeah, you know what I mean. To me, that's how I feel, man. If I was to get into this and think that, hey, I'm gonna be Jay-Z in the next 10 years, it go back to the first song that I said, bro. I missed it. So I have to set that foundation first, man. So we're chasing after a fairy tale life. So you need to make sure that you putting God first and understanding that, hey, the only reason why I'm doing what I'm doing right now is because, man, you understand what I'm saying.
No, that's good.
It's deep,
that's
man.
good. That is deep, bro.
Because it's like, man, if we look at this stuff, it's a tough situation, man.
Balance.
It's there. It is. It's a tough
But you know what?
situation.
You know what though? It's really not a balance if you keep the main thing, man. God said, humble yourself, and in due time I will exalt you. Now you could come in with your own mind frame and cap your exaltation, or you could just keep seeking the kingdom, and what you're doing is to glorify the kingdom. And man, God can it'll be unlimited. We say Jay-Z a lot, and I'm formulating a respect for Jay-Z. But I'm gonna tell you who really showed us, gave us the blueprint, Kanye. Kanye crossed over Christian, bro, and dominated.
He did.
Dominated, bro.
He did.
Dominated now. He crossed over and dominated. Like the first week was some numbers that the C.H.H. community has never seen. And I ain't seen them since.
That's fact, yeah.
I ain't seen them since. But if you ever listen to Kanye's vocabulary and the way he thinks and speaks, he doesn't cap. He doesn't have a cap. It's for God. That's what he was saying. Like you can believe it or not, that's your choice. But when he was saying it, it was for God, and he wasn't limiting God. I could cross back over, which I was gonna ask this question earlier, but I ain't gonna miss. Kanye probably could cross back over, and his belief system will let him boom in the secular realm, then cross back over C.H.H. and boom in that.
Yeah.
So we have to just believe, man, and believe without that expectation or without capping God off and saying, I want to be here and want to be there, and this, that, and the third. There's nothing wrong with setting those bars, but leave room for God to move those bars out the way so you can go up even higher. My thoughts. What's your thoughts?
Definitely. That's the thing, man. And to piggyback off of that, the verse says you can be happier more just chasing the less. And that goes with what you said, man. Like if you not chasing those goals or putting those bars on, man, and capping yourself, you know what I mean? You because you get everybody kind of get this, man, and not just in music, in life general. Say you want to be somewhere in life, you got a certain time frame in life. You're like, yo, I want to have this by this and this and that, and you're not hitting those goals, man. It damps you down a little bit. You know what I mean? You kind of like, man, you start to carry that around on you, man. And that's what I mean. Like you could be happier more if you just release that off of you. And like,
that's
Lord,
real.
Take me where you need me to go. If it's high as the heavens, man, I'm ready to
real.
go
Take
there.
me there.
Yeah,
That's
take
real.
me there. But I'm not chasing it. And that's what is easier for me. Like now I'm like, yo, I want to operate in excellence. I'm big about that. Like that's me, man.
That's
Like
I like that.
I would be in the studio and I would be like, yo, no, that ain't it, this and that, and everybody throw that label on there. Well, you're doing it for God. It's cool. If you go,
that's why I gotta be the
even
best.
more. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's even more for me. I want to operate in excellence. But the goals that I set or the goals that I am chasing is different than 90% of the people. So that's what
real.
makes me operate in excellence without the pressures of trying to reach a certain standard. That's where I'm at with it.
That's dope. I got two questions I want to throw at you. And I'm doing this one. I think I should go this here first. And I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna do this question. Dr. T says, why do C.H.H. artists feel like they need to rap in King James? And I guess that's adding all the scriptures and all that in there, right? When I hear your music, I don't hear that, right? But I'm big on that, right? And this is why I catered to the audience that I knew of. You know what I mean? Okay. So the audience that I found myself in was the churchgoers, and when I was doing those award shows, it was older people at those award shows. It wasn't a lot of, you get some young people, but most of those people that said those award shows are older. And so what I kept hearing from the older audience was, baby, I like your music because I can understand what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Like when you go to add in the more futuristic language and verbiage in there, like the youth is, the youth of now is using, you're gonna miss the audience that I was in front of. Now, if that's your audience, then you cater to that audience. But the reason why I put a lot of scriptures in my stuff was I was led, but then also it was the audience. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, so for me, man, be honest with you, I'll tell a story. Like when I first started doing the gospel, my lyrics, I got labeled like, yo, you being a little bit too real. Like, don't say that. That's kind of how I got hit with, man. Because I was starting off in the Koji, you know what I'm saying? The
Right.
Koji,
Oh
they was
Lord,
like,
yeah, you
yeah.
you gotta put tongues in your rap.
Yeah. So they like, yo, don't say that, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't say that. But as I started up, like I said, 2018, I got back. That was one of the things that dropped in my spirit was if you're gonna do this and if you really gonna do this, I need you to do it fully authentic. I need you to be
That's
you.
dope.
And so for me now, it's like, yo, you may not like everything that is said or the way that it's said in my lyrics or whatever, and it may, but it reaches the audience who it needs to reach. So like if
That's good.
a song like Lost Thoughts or Look Me in My Eyes, right? It can reach an audience of where I was at in between of the time that I started and went to secular to now. So it's almost like I'm reverting back to when I was stuck in a rut for 3 years, you know,
You preaching.
and it's reaching that audience. And I just believe it's not really, I feel like it's not really a must to kind of hit him over the head with the verses all the time, stuff like that, because you could, to me, where I grew up at, a lot of people they like to call that like preachy or whatever, and you miss that audience. But at the same time, I have records that do that. It's like, you know, my catalog is kind of spread, but that's kind of where I stand with it, man. I definitely feel what you're saying because I've been in those situations where I get up there and I may have did the wrong song and they just kind of looking at me
And
like,
you feel it. Ain't that like
yeah. They kind of like,
well, you feel it because they just
that
looking
ain't
at you like
it. That ain't it, young fella. You need to get it. Yeah. So,
and then look, you get the one clap. Woo!
woo, all right.
All right, next. No,
Yeah,
that's too
man.
funny.
Yes, sir.
So my dog Brady had a question. And we getting the questions, so we're gonna let me see. We still doing good on time. All right, we gotta get some couple more sponsorships in, but we doing good. Birdie says has there ever been a moment, and this is for both of us, where you feel yourself getting arrogant or prideful? I'll let you go first, and I'll come behind you. And as you're doing this, has there ever been a moment where you've gotten prideful or arrogant?
Yeah, I just gotta be bold, beyond. Yeah, there has been. But I will say it wasn't publicly. It was
Right.
privately. And I think we all kind of do it a little bit, right? You write a verse and you like, ooh, I'm gonna kill him with this one, like that type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Okay, in
like
that sense.
and then so then you listen to it and then you hear somebody else. And I did it before, man. I had heard somebody else and I'm like, oh man, they ain't touching me or something like that. You know what I mean? But
Right.
that's about as far as it go for me. And then
Yeah.
I really, you know, I'm pretty good about reeling it back, like, yo, chill out, bro. But that's the competitive side. I feel like, I don't know if it's more arrogant, but it's more the competitive side. I would say that's what it is for me.
Okay, and I guess when you put it like that, I can say that I've done that too. Like I'll write a song or a verse, especially when I'm featured on something. And I'll be like, ooh, okay, okay. I ate a little bit, but when it comes to this the art or the gift that God has given me, man, I'm so timid. Man, I get in places and I have to pace and pray. Whenever it's time for me to pace and I pray, I'm just like that with it. It's like, God, I'm just in awe that you would choose me. And so, and I always ask God, I'm like, man, when I hit that stage, I need it to be you. It don't be me. So when people see me bouncing around and man, I've been gave it all to God. And I always say this: if you come into a situation and you have that nervous feeling and you have those butterflies, that's your way of that's God knocking on the door.
Right.
And I hear a lot of time I've been talking to people, they've said to me, like, nah, I don't have that. And I said, man, it's all you. That's my thought. Now I could be wrong, but I always say, well, that's all you then. You done got in a place where you don't need, I need God still, man. I've been doing it 3 years and I need God. You know what I mean? Because it's different when you're out there on that stage, man. You want to make sure that God is glorified, but people are looking to you. You know what I mean? Like, and it's almost how I see it is their cups out. So can you pour something in my cup? Or do you got enough in you that you can pour something in my cup?
Yeah,
and,
yes, sir.
If so, then you'll impact them and you'll touch them. But if not, then you'll feel that. You'll feel that.
That's 100%, man. That's 100%.
So Nancy, I got your question. I'm gonna say Nancy question to the end. I'm gonna do a commercial break and a video, and then we'll come back and close this thing out. But Nancy, I got you. I saw your question. Here we go. Commercial break real quick.
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. My name is Minister Sheila Walker, the host of the Bread of Life podcast. The Bread of Life podcast was birthed so that people can understand that yes, God wants your spirit healthy, but He is also concerned about your mind and your body as well. Just like you exercise so your physical body can be healthy, God will give you a word so you can build up your spiritual muscle as well. Every Friday, God gives words of encouragement so you can make it to the next hour, so you can make it to the next day, so you can make it to the next week, so you can make it to the next month, so you can make it to your next level. Connect with me every Friday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Bread of Life YouTube and Facebook page. God has all the nourishment that you need to be whole, mind, body, and spirit. I'll meet you there. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, that's my sister, Minister Sheila Walker, and they like to say it like this: get that bread and get fed. Every Friday, 12 noon Central Standard Time. Now, we're about to jump to this video by my brother, the one and only Brickface. We'll be right back after this video break. Time, but every day. That's my brother Brickface, and I hate that Facebook be hating, man, because I want to play them whole videos, man. I be back here bobbing, boy, for real bobbing. Shout out to my brother. That's Brickface, man. You find that brother music on all social media platforms. Spell his name like an acronym, Brickface, but put you a dot in between every letter, man. And that boy got a catalog of really, really, really dope music, man. And he hails from St. Louis, Missouri, my dog. All right, Chawa, we back in it.
Yes, sir.
We back in it, man. I think we were still in the, that thing got so meaty, man. We still in that first part of that second verse. So we good. We're gonna let's put a little speed on it so we can get on through there. I want you to make sure you get all this out.
All right, cool.
Stop that chasing success.
Okay.
You'll be happier with more chasing the list. That's what you did.
Okay. It ain't the easiest thing to do, I must confess. But every day I lift my eyes and I know I'm blessed.
Come on.
You know, but I still feel I gotta get it because where I'm from is survival of the fittest. Either you with it or you get it. You gotta stay committed. Only the realest gonna feel it. You know what I'm saying? And
talk about
that. That right there, man, is what. That's my environment, man. Like that's me bringing in my environment that I grew in, man. Where it's like either you with it or you get it. You gotta stay committed. Only the realest gonna feel it. So what I mean by that is either you with this thing, you know what I'm saying? Either you all in for God, bro,
or you not.
or you not. Like it's simple as that.
Facts.
I was the 1 foot in, 1 foot out guy. That was me, man. And for me, this is me talking to me. Like, yo, either you with this or you get it, bro. Like you gonna get it like everybody else who chooses to walk away. You know what the ending is. You know what I'm saying? So you got a choice to make.
Come on, Jonah.
You got a choice to make, man. And you got to stay committed, and only the realest gonna feel it. And what I mean by that is, brother, like you, my bro, and people who are like us, kingdom builders. They're the real ones who understand what we really doing this for.
Yeah.
And so that's what you gotta stay. As long as you stay committed to the kingdom, as long as you stay committed to what God has for you, man. You know what the ending is. So that's what it is. Either way, what the ending is going to be, make your choice, man.
Well, that's good. I like that.
Yep.
I like that.
And then, but still, I struggle with it every day, preparing my thoughts to what I need to say. I speak my rhymes and stay out the way. But before I speak a word, man, I gotta pray.
Talk about
So
it.
yeah, man, that right there is the truth, man. I still struggle with it at times, man. I still struggle with. Like we talked about, some of my closest people around me and stuff, and like wanting their acceptance. Like I still struggle with that sometimes. Like even though I know, like man, God is pulling me away. He's cutting those people off for a reason. I do find myself. I call them human moments, man. I do find myself where
that's real.
it's like man, I just be like, yo, like I kind of miss my bro, or like yo, I mean, but I know that it probably ain't the best move for me, man. So, but I struggle with every day, preparing my thoughts to what I need to say. So, as I think those things through, or like before I minister or whatever the case may be, man, I kind of pray. That's my biggest thing. I always pray, and I just think thoughts through, prepare my thoughts what I need to say, and I'm a quiet dude. I know I'm here, but outside of I'm like a quiet dude. Like if you see me in person, bro,
I get that. I can see that.
Yeah, but I'm kind of low key. So like I say I spit my rhymes, bro. I get up there and they always like, yo, you transform into something else when you performing. But then I'm very reserved. So it's like, yo, I spit my rhymes and then what God needs me to say, then I'm out the way. Like I did my part, man, and I kind of stay low key, man, and that's where that part is.
That's dope. So I'm gonna take this moment before we jump into your third and final verse to ask you 2 more questions. The first question is this for Dr. Tony Whitley. Give us your top 5 artists. It could be secular, C.H.u.r.c.h, wherever you want to go, however you want to drive it. And then the second part of that question, the B clause is, who, if you could collaborate, I'm gonna answer this one too. If you could collaborate with anybody, who would it be? Top 5, and then who would you collab with?
Top 5. I have to go with Nas, number 1. That's my guy.
Then I heard Tupac. You said Tupac.
So I got Nas, man. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna have to go with Jay-Z, man. I'm gonna have to go with Jay-Z number 2, man. I had to do that.
Jesus, no.
Number 3. I'm gonna go with 3 Stacks, man.
Stacks Cole.
I go with 2 Stacks. Number 4, I go with J. Cole.
J. Cole, don't get the respect he deserves.
Yeah. And number 5, I'm gonna go. It's the battle, but I gotta lean towards Biggie, man. I know it's Biggie and Pac, but I gotta lean towards.
No. I listen. I love Big, man. Big to me, I always say this. Lyrically, you can put Big music on right now, man. Dude. Big slicing and dicing. Especially, I ain't gonna some of this stuff that's out there now. Man, Big slicing and dicing. You could take Big lyrics right now and put them on, say, a Lil Baby beat that Lil Baby using right now, and Big would be a feature, and you wouldn't even know. You would be like, "Why Big? Hey, Big Cole, man, Big Cole." Pop to me, and my love for Pop is that Pop is a revolutionary. Like that fighting spirit, man. I that's me. Like I love hard. I love hard, and I fight even harder. You know what I mean? Right. So I just can relate to Pop, man. But I think Pop would salute that list is dope, bro. That top 5 is cold with it. And I love J. Cole. And I think J. Cole is going to me, this is my opinion now. He's gonna end up falling in lines with like a Common, where them boys are so dope, but they won't never get the respect that's due to them because they ain't commercial. They ain't necklaces and gold teeth. And that's sales, man. People want to see that to feel some type of way about you. But musically, can't nobody touch them boys. So
Facts.
dope,
Yeah,
dope.
man.
All right, so what's that collab? Who you collabing with? Mine is
Man,
hard.
if I could collab, I'm gonna be honest, bro. It'd probably be with 3 Stacks, because I feel like he would pull
Woo!
so much out of me, bro. Because you had no
Yeah,
choice.
you can't come weak. You can't come
You
weak.
got no choice,
You
man. So,
can't come weak. You probably end up throwing
Boy.
so many raps away like now.
Take me like a month. I'm like,
well, that's a tough one. But it's crazy because I'm coming out the same family, and I've been saying this for years. If I got 2 different collabs. If it's just a single, I want to collab with C.h.u.r.c.h. Green. C.h.u.r.c.h is so versatile.
C.h.u.r.c.h,
and I believe he would, like you said, he would pull something out of me, and it would be so different, and it would be so dope. But if I could collaborate with one person on a whole project like an album, it would be Lil Jon. I think Lil Jon on some Christian, boy, I would be, especially with me.
That'd be cold.
Lil Jon would go dumb, boy. We would go dumb. We would go dumb. So that'll be mine. That's dope. We came out the same family with that, so I dig it. All right, I thought we had a question. Truth, I think clock is okay. Now there ain't no question. All right, here we go. Let's go into that third verse.
Third verse. Another youngin got killed the other day. We never break our silence. We just look the other way. Wow. Amazing, man. How we can feel like this can be okay. We say praying for each other, hoping that it change someday.
Talk about it, man. God.
So this was like the ending of my song, man, and it was just raw thoughts, man. And it was written during the time where, like, my hometown, we had.
Where you
like
from, bro? Where you from?
So I'm from it's a small city, Mansfield, Ohio, and it was a killing. Like for this small type of town, it's a community, bro. Like everybody know everybody. And I didn't, even though I don't live there anymore. You know, I'm based in Columbus. But it was like hearing about people that people that you grew up with, losing their lives, and week after week, and it's like, man, ain't nobody saying nothing. You know, we grew up with grew up with people and stuff like that, man. And this was written out of a place of pain, for real, man. It was written out of a place of like, of anger. I'll be honest, man. It was written out of pain, out of anger, out of like, man, enough is enough. Just something that we really need to speak on. So, it's kind of like debunking that whole code of like, don't speak, or don't speak on this or speak on that, man. I'm kind of letting people know, like, yo, it's cool, man. You need to talk about it. You need to figure it out, and we need to change. We got to be the change, man. So that's what that first verse was about.
Let me ask you this: being from Ohio, what's the music scene like, Christian-wise in Ohio? I know a couple people secular from up there. It's crazy. I know a couple people doing a secular thing from up that way. But Christian hip hop, are you having to go outside of Ohio a lot to do stuff, or do y'all got a scene there? Or what's it like?
Yeah, man. I have to go outside of Ohio, man. It's like it's a little tough, man. But it's something that I've been especially. It's funny that you say that, man. It is so funny that you say that, because I was just speaking with my wife after a trip that we had like 2 weeks ago, a concert we did, and it dropped in my spirit, like, yo, you need to build this, because y'all, you too, because you were from down there in Florida, man. Y'all have something going on down there
It's something special, bro.
Yeah, it's something special with this love and this like connection and this unity that we don't see that up here, man. And that was something that dropped in my spirit, like, man, we need to be the ones who kind of anchor that down and start to build that here. So I might be tapping in with you, bro, because
Let me ask you this: do you know Prophecy?
Yes, sir. So Prophecy, real music. Yeah. I'm managed by them.
Really? Oh, you in good company. No. Oh man, you in good company.
So
you in good company.
I am managed by Real Music. So yeah, it is, man. And we started. Yeah.
You and him ain't got no. Y'all ain't got no project together.
We in the work on it, though. We in the work.
Y'all need to listen, man. Y'all need to pop y'all hands, man. Boy, two would just kill the game if y'all get on something together, man.
Yeah. We in the works on it, though. It's gonna be
okay. I can't wait to hear that. Y'all 2 styles. That's crazy. Yeah.
Woo. Yes, sir.
Y'all can go crazy.
Yeah.
Be crazy right there, boy.
Yeah,
Give us a date. When can we expect something to come out with y'all too? That's gonna be dope, though.
Man, I don't know. We just kind of working on it, man. Hopefully, man. I would say, I don't know, man. Hopefully by the end of the year, next year, sometime, we
Yeah.
have something locked in, because
Yeah.
we definitely need to lock
I
that
can't
in.
wait to hear that. I played this video on here last week.
Okay.
That now
That
so
now,
cold, man.
yeah,
God,
that
so
now
cold.
go, man. That
God,
go.
that thing cold, boy.
That
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we'll get stuck right there. I can't wait to hear that, man. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Pops, you got to bring them on the movement when they drop that. They got to come on there, and that we got to break that on the movement Underground 9.0. That's gonna be hot.
Yes,
All right, let's
sir.
finish this last little bit of this verse out.
They ain't worried about no job. They said that's slow money. You say you 9 to 5. They laugh like what's so funny. But they ain't too many to speak the facts in the booth. The real problem with the youth is just they lacking the truth. For
Come
real.
on.
And that is what it is. Like, that's continuing that mind state and that feeling that I was in, man, where I just wanted to be a director of youth, man. I just kind of wanted to show them, like, man, this ain't cool no more, man.
Right.
It's time, man. We gotta 9 to 5s is cool. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to if you want to be an entrepreneur or whatever the case may be. That's perfectly fine. But you know what I'm talking about as far as, what they laughing at the 9 to 5 is other alternate ways of getting money. And
Right.
that ain't cool no more, man. We losing too many people. We losing too many of our brothers, losing too many of our sisters to a lifestyle that is not needed, man. So
Right.
that was where I was at with that, man. I just wanted to kind of speak that into their spirit, man. I wanted to be like, yo, you can change your life. You just have to be the change, man. I know we all see this
Come on,
all the
talk about it.
time, man.
Talk
But
about it.
you can change, man. And that's just where I wanted to be that example. Like, yo, look at where God has placed me. Look at where I'm at, and I just want to be a light, man. That's all it is, man. Because a lot of dudes that I grew up with, if nothing else, man, they come out and be like, yo, we respect you for moving how you move, man.
That's
And
dope.
that right there, it goes back to that. Then your words have an influence, and if you're
Yeah.
able to influence them to think differently, then you already started the engine on change.
Come
So
on, man.
that's
That's
what I'm
good.
looking for, man. Yep.
That's good. So I'm gonna do something for my boy Bird. Bird want to get and I think that's dope because a lot of times we do the top 5 secular, but we don't do the top 5 Christian. So give me your top 5 Christian hip hop artists, and I'm gonna get mine.
Okay.
It don't have to be in no particular order.
Okay, no order. I'm gonna go with the truth.
Yeah.
I don't know if to be me know him, but his name Richie Righteous. Richie Righteous is he cold. Like, you look him up, he a little bit older, but he cold. I go with Bizzle.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
my dude.
Bizzle. I'm gonna have to go with. I like KB, man. I like KB. I like his
If he
style.
cold.
And my last one. Let me put some juice on this, man. I'm gonna go with. Let me think here, man. I like Trip Lee.
I like Trip too.
I like Trip Lee.
Trip don't get the respect. Yeah, but Trip cold.
Like, I got him on the playlist right now, and he on repeat right now with this last record that he did. It's pretty cold. So I've been watching him. I like his style for sure.
I did that. I got some of the same ones in mind as well. Like I got Bizzle in there. I like 1K Few, and they get on the 1K because I hear a lot of people, under their breath, he don't really that's that. But I like what he's doing. I got respect for 1K Few. I like Zanti. Let me see. Did I say Bizzle, Craig, 1K Few, Zanti? And my number 5, really, man, is gonna be a host of independent artists for real. Like, I got so much love for the grind because I'm close and personal with like you and Birdie and Willow and myself and Young Drew, Gavin the Hot Rod. The independent grind is it's a grind, but it's beautiful, man. And I love when I travel the globe. Thank God. And I love no matter where God allows me to go, I get to see that, man, God has a remnant of people doing exactly what I'm doing in Florida, man. And so, and they independent artists. And so my number 5 is like, I can't name everybody, so I'm just gonna say all the independent artists. If I ever witness you do your thing, you my number 5. Cause man, I just love it. I love it. I love to watch y'all do y'all thing. And it's like college football to the pros. You know what I mean? College is gonna be, it's a different grit, different grind. And you get to the pros, you kind of relax because I'm getting a check now, and I drop a few lines, and it ain't. Back then, I get on when I'm independent. I get on. I got to eat because I'm trying to get on to hear me. But now they hear me, it's like let me ABC 1, 2, 3. Right. And because of who they are, you like, man, that's cold. You know what I mean? No right. I don't really just playing, but I got respect for the independent artists, man. So all independent artists I've ever come in contact with, you are my number 5. So last thing, Chawa. Your song Lost Thoughts, if you could summarize it up into a few words, a sentence or so, what would you want to leave the people with? What's your summarized thoughts of Lost Thoughts?
I would say it's okay to be lost at times.
That's good.
That's what it is. It's okay to not have it all together. That's basically what it is, because that's what Lost Thoughts is, man. Is a whole bunch of thoughts that at times and moments that I didn't have it together, that I was able to just write down and in God's time able to put together and make sense of it. So that's what I would say to them, man.
That's good, bro. I like that. It's okay. Yeah. Somebody grab that, put it in your pocket. Yeah. It's okay not to be all right. It's okay not to have it all together. It's okay. Yep. It's okay. Yep. It's okay, because God is still ordering your steps, and what seemed confusing today could be clear tomorrow. Like, oh man, that's what God was doing the whole time.
There it is.
He was shaking the tree so a few leaves could fall off, getting you ready for spring season, and now look at you. Y'all beautiful, you're pruned up, looking real good, you're spiffy, looking
don't
good.
Look like what you've been through.
Don't look like what you come on. All them cuts and slices, and it was all working. So that's dope. Yeah. That's dope. That's real dope. So listen, I always like to say this, bro, especially when they do it, bro. Man, thank you, man. This platform is created for artists to really get to tell it. And I did more talking than I normally do today, but I told you your lyrics was pulling on me before I even got to the interview. I'm like, wow, so dope. So, but we still got to hear you. You know what I mean? So I thank you for taking advantage of this platform. We laughed, we joked, we got serious. You ministered, but people got to really hear your message in a deeper place. And in detail. And so I thank you for coming on here and taking advantage of the platform, bro, and bringing us into Lost Thoughts. And I pray that everybody understands it in such a deeper way. So thank you for that.
Thank you for
Leave us, man. No doubt, bro. And I got to bring you back definitely when you in Prophecy, but with the other song too that you was talking about, I want to get you to come on. Maybe I'll book you in a few months and have you come back on and break that one down for us as well. Yes, but leave us. Oh no, let me do this commercial break, and I have you leave us. This is the big one. Is with folks. Commercial break, then we're gonna have you leave us with last thoughts. All right.
Hip Hop Church.
That's it.
Your relationships, watch this, your prosperity and your poverty are tied into your relationships.
Oh, that's it.
And so what you're highlighting is just so important.
Hard up here. I mean, that's just, I feel like when you say that, you should say it like this, like it's a chopper. Hand it to him like it's like you just gave to me like, blah.
The #1 social media podcast in the nation.
Team Underground, that's it, that's it, that's it.
1, 2, baby.
Hi, I'm Bishop Daryl Hines, and I got it this time. I'm a professional here. 3, 2, 1. Hi, I'm Bishop Daryl Hines, and you are watching the Movement Underground 9.0 with Tony Whitley and Lady T. I want you all to stay here because y'all gonna be blessed for real.
That's it. Featuring
Team Underground.
I always look when after I say something to see if I really said something to impact somebody and it wasn't just me. Yeah. And I said just me because me is in these comments. Yeah. Come on, baby. God is with me.
Angie in real life.
Nah, baby, everybody not called to the nation. So you got to find out where you belong so we can develop this culture.
J-Dub. Pastor Robert Pyle.
God to use this what I allow as a leader to impact the community.
And the underground battle where you get your head bust.
Tune in Thursdays, 6:30 Central Standard Time, and Sundays, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Movement Underground 9.0, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, baby.
Dope. That's the fam, man. That's the squad. Man, we had such an amazing time this weekend, man. I'm talking about them was definitely memories. Lasting memories was made this weekend, man. We had so
Next
shout out to my
next time I
MU90
need to
family.
invite
I
me.
saw you say that. I saw you say that. We got, bro. I'll make sure I got you. I'll shoot your text. Wow. Meet me out that way.
Yes, sir.
All right. So again, bro, dope interview, man. I really enjoyed you. Had a good time. Amazing dialogue. Leave us with some final thoughts.
Final thoughts, man, is hey, man, everybody watching, man, to everybody, I love y'all, man. That's all I gotta say. I love y'all, man. That's all I can say. It's just I'm walking in love, man. I'm walking in love.
Man, you said more than enough. That's it. I mean, because everybody needs love. If you don't need no love, then I don't know.
Yeah.
Get from around me. You don't need no love, get from around me, man. Watch out. Slide to the left, slide to the right.
Yeah.
Get out the way. Listen,
That's
man.
it, man.
It's your favorite big brother, Mr. Church, man. This has been another dope episode of Rhyme and Word with my brother, Chawa. Listen, y'all, we'll be back next Monday. We're going to do something different next week. I wanted to try to stay away from this, but it's such a pull on this show. I'm getting booked so crazy. And I think once a month, I'm going to run 2 episodes in 1 week. And I got 2 episodes coming next week. I got Know My Brother, Young Drew, and I ain't going to call the other artist name because I got to get their name down. But I know I got 2 shows next week, man. So y'all get ready, man. Stay locked in with your brother. Don't go nowhere because Roundtable with MTA will be up in a few moments. 3 moments, about 20 of them to be exact. She got a dope guest, my sister Portia on there. Listen, it's your favorite brother, Mr. Church. That's my brother Chawa. We love y'all till life, for life, and ain't nothing you can do about it but accept it. We out.
That's right.